What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eriny if you don't know that. Before we start this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Today, my dear viewer, we are gonna be talking about one of the most important and most famous people of the 21st century. This person's personality managed to shape a large part of the childhood of the 21st century's generation. A person that entered history for representing unforgettable characters like Mrs. Doubtfire or the genie in Aladdin. One of the most brilliant comedian actors, Robin Williams. The actor that the entire world was shocked to hear about his suicide in August 2014. After 63 years of success and popularity, Robin had a family and friends that loved him, and he loved them. But despite all of that, he chose to end his life with his own hands. And the question here is, why do we love Robin Williams? Why did the entire world feel sad and hurt about his death? But the more important question is, why would someone that had everything that most people wanted of wealth, success, and popularity, family, and friends take his own life? Robin was born on the 21st of July, 1951, in Chicago, USA. He was an only child to a wealthy family in Chicago. His father, Robert Williams, was the vice president of the company Ford. His mother, Laurie McLaurin Williams. I'm not sure if she was a model or an actress or both, but that's not the point of this video. Robin had two elder half-brothers, but they were not living with him. Plus, his family was moving out a lot because of their work. And because of that, whenever Robin made friends in one school, that friendship wouldn't last long because he would always move to another school in such a little period of time. He had to break up his friendships because of the process of the family moving away every so often. So Robin didn't really have friends. In only 8 years, he transferred between 6 different schools. And that made him suffer from the constant loneliness in his childhood. And in order to compensate for this deficiency, Robin started making imaginary friends to talk to. When he told the public about his childhood, he said, "My imagination was my friend, my companion." And like any normal child, Robin had toys. Some of them were these little soldier toys that we've all seen in the animation movie Toy Story. Robin used to spend hours in his room playing with these soldier toys. And he wasn't just playing with them. He used to give them names and different personalities and even different accents. And that gave him the ability to make different voices and accents in a very natural way. And despite the time he used to spend alone, his relationship with his mother was very strong. Laurie was very funny, and that made him open his eyes to see the magic and the power behind comedy. He felt that comedy made their relationship stronger and made them closer and comfortable with each other. He said, "My mother was funny with me, and I was funny for her. And they learned that by being entertaining, you make a connection with another person." But on the other hand, his relationship with his father wasn't as strong. Although he was used to being alone, but he was very good at making friends at any new place he moves to. In Detroit Country Day School, Robert was an example of the perfect student. He was the president of his class. He had high degrees, and he was part of the football team. And when his senior year finally came, boom, his family moves again, this time to California in 1967. And again, Robin loses his social communication circle. Again, he's in a place that he's clueless about. Robin had different interests other than studying, like sports and acting. He even joined the theatrical performance at the end of the year. And after finishing school, it's time to choose a profession and go to college. Robert was fighting between his desire to be an artist and his father's desire that wanted him to be an important businessman in society. So Robert went to a college in Los Angeles to study political science and hoped to work in the diplomatic sector. And in one of his terms, he had the option to choose an optional subject that's out of his profession. And he chose improvisation theater. A lot of people loved attending these performances because they were for free. And here, Robin's talent and acting started to shine. And he was the star of these performances. He attracted a lot of attention because of his exploding energy on stage. He became very famous in college, although he was known between his friends for his quietness and shyness. But as we all know, nothing is for free, unless it's subscribing for my channel, so. Being a star had a price, and that was him failing his degrees that started to fall from A to F in his microeconomics test. His answer was one phrase: "I don't know, sir." After that exam, his father got very angry with him and dropped him out of college. When Robin told his father about his passion and talent for acting, his father told him, "It's fine to have a dream, but you better learn a skill, like welding, just in case." Robin didn't like what his father said, so he left to go to a community college to continue studying while following his his dream. He started to audition for any play he came across. And after 3 years in college and 5 years in California, he applied for Juilliard's drama audition. And he nailed it because of his funny performance. Juilliard gave him a full scholarship. If you don't know, Juilliard is one of the finest academies of art in the world. So he went to New York and started dreaming about his first Oscar. But after 3 years, he dropped out because his professors advised him to, which I don't think was the smartest thing that he did. So he went back to California, although he was broke and embarrassed from his family, and they thought that he was a great failure. But Robin was an expert in performing. For example, he didn't use mics while performing, but walked between his audience seats, which caught their attention. His performance was chaotic, which brought more attention. In 1976, he went to LA with his girlfriend Valerie and started performing stand-up comedy, and he got even more and more famous. But we all know that success attracts haters that got close to him so that they can offer him free drugs. But that wasn't the first time that Robin tried drugs. He tried weed when he was in college, but in Las Vegas was his first time to try cocaine. His drug addiction didn't appear at first. In January 1978, in mid-season 5 of the TV show Happy Days, the writers of the show didn't feel that this season was as good as the rest, and they started thinking of new ideas. So Gray Marshall, the producer of the show, saw that the problem is that the main character, Fonzie, didn't have an enemy to compete with. Gray's 9-year-old son, who was a fan of Star Wars at the time, told his dad to bring an alien on the show. He was like, "Dad, why don't you just bring an alien on the show?" But Gray told him that there are no aliens in the 50s. But the kid responded saying, "Why don't you just make him dream of the alien?" After a lot of thinking, Gray thought that this was a brilliant idea. And Robin Williams was chosen to play the alien, Mork. The episode was in front of an audience of 300 people. After the show was over, every one of those people stood up and clapped for Robin's performance. That episode was extremely successful. It was watched by 23,800,000 people. That episode got the second highest viewership that week. And that was enough reason to make a channel like ABC offer him the show Mork and Mindy. And after that role, money was not an issue for Robin anymore. And in June 1978, he married his girlfriend Valerie. When his show finally came out, it was watched for over 19 million times. And in 1979, his picture was on the Times magazine cover. And then he won the Golden Globe Prize for the best comedian actor on the show. But unfortunately, because of his drug use and because of his relationships with other women, his marriage was obviously affected. So Robin didn't stay at the top for long. Also because ABC was starting to change characters and bring new characters to the show every now and then. So their viewership started to go down quickly, especially after younger comedians accused Robin of stealing their jokes. So Robin started to have a lot of depression, stress, and anxiety. So he sadly turned his attention to cocaine. Until the death of his friend, John, because of an overdose. And here, Robin finally decided to stay away from drugs at the age of 33. But despite all that, his show was cancelled after 4 years and after only 91 episodes. After that, he and Valerie started having problems. They started thinking about splitting up. And to fix their problem, they decided to have a child. My advice, if you don't love each other anymore, get a divorce, not a child. And in 1983, Zach Williams was born. But still, Robin was not satisfied with his life. He would always ask his friend, "When is my turn gonna come to have a hit movie?" And finally, in 1987, he was offered the role to play a radio broadcaster in the movie Good Morning Vietnam. But after he finished filming in Bangkok and returned home, he received the news of his father having cancer. And he immediately went to visit him. And for the first time, they started talking like friends. But their time together was not long because his father died on October 1987. And in 1988, Good Morning Vietnam entered the box office. And Robin won another Golden Globe Prize. And he was nominated for an Oscar for the first time in his life. Although he didn't win, but being nominated to the Oscars is a huge honor. But even after all that success, his marriage was not saved. And he and Valerie split up in 1988. Did you know that Robin Williams was offered to play the Joker in the Batman movie that came out in 1989? But after he accepted the offer, they gave the role to Jack Nicholson. And it turned out that they offered him the job so that Jack can accept it quicker. After that, he was offered the movie Dead Poets Society. And he was really enjoying filming this movie, saying, "I am just here to introduce the world to these boys." And he was nominated for the Oscar prize for the second time. But he still didn't win. After that, he worked on the movie Awakening and the movie Fisher King. And he was nominated for the Oscar for the third time, but still, he didn't win. And then life started started to lighten up for Robin because he married Marcia Garcias Williams, his second wife. And then Disney offered him to play the genie in the animation movie Aladdin, the story that was taken from the book Thousand Nights and a Night. This movie was incredibly successful. It made over $217 million revenue just in America in 1992. And then he made the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. That movie was even more successful, making $220 million revenue. After that, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon wrote a movie together. They offered for Robin to help them, and the movie was Good Will Hunting, one of the greatest movies in history. And for the fourth time, and after nearly 10 years, Robin gets nominated for the Oscars and wins for Best Supporting Actor. But unfortunately, after that, his life started to become a roller coaster again. And after nearly 20 years of recovery, Robin started his use of alcohol and drugs again. And he was hiding it from all the people around him. In 2006, he relapsed and went to rehab. In 2007, Marcia, his second wife, split up with him. And that affected him more than you think, because Marcia wasn't just his wife, she was also his business manager. And he counted on her to choose the right roles for him to play. He fell into loneliness and his addiction. He was an example of a great actor that failed his career. In 2014, after his TV show The Crazy Ones was cancelled after only one season, Robin started having digestion and eye problems. He started losing weight like crazy, and he started to feel that his ability to think is slower than it used to be. When he told his friends, they thought that his anxiety medicines are the reason behind all this. And when he was filming the movie Night at the Museum, he used to cry every night to his makeup artist, saying that he feels like he's dying and that moving is very difficult for him and that his photographic memory became weaker. And when his makeup artist advised him to go to a nearby theater to perform a stand-up comedy to lighten his mood up, he fell into an ocean of his tears, saying, "I don't know anymore. I don't know how to be funny anymore." Suzanne Schneider, his third wife, who he met in addiction recovery groups, she went with him to a lot of doctors. And in May 2014, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. It's a nervous system disorder that affects the movement. And it's the same disease that the famous boxer Muhammad Ali was diagnosed with. Robin was terrified that one day he might lose his ability to move. He started getting depression and paranoia. In August 10th, 2014, he gathered all his expensive watches and put them in a sock and gave them to his neighbor because he was convinced that they were gonna be stolen if they're kept in the house. He started going insane and there was no way to help him. But Robin decided to end all the pain and all the suffering with his own hands. And on the 11th of August, 2014, he ended his life and he committed suicide using his belt. And the world lost a great comedian. After the news of his death, millions of people were sad and devastated. And a lot of theories started popping up to explain the sudden suicide. And to explain why would someone as rich and as famous and as successful commit suicide? Was he under the influence of drugs? But his blood analysis was clear of any sign of drugs, for an exception for an antidepressant and the Parkinson's disease medicine. The world was convinced that depression was the reason behind his suicide until his forensic report came out. And here was the surprise. Robin didn't die because of depression, and Robin didn't have Parkinson's disease. Robin had Lewy body dementia. This disease affects memory and the ability to think and to control muscles, but it's much more dangerous than Parkinson's disease because it causes depression and hallucinations. And it could very much be the reason behind Robin's suicide. Just know, my dear viewer, that there are psychological reasons behind physical diseases, and there are physical reasons behind psychological diseases. Robin was not exaggerating when he said that he was losing it and going insane. Robin didn't need to take antidepressant pills because the depression he had was because of physical reasons. Physical or psychological diseases can cause a painful reality. And know that self-doubt can be toxic, and the need for continuous approval can put you under pressure. It can make you lose the beautiful feeling and the sight of success. You always think that you could have done better, but please don't be harsh on yourself. Remember that life is hard, tiring, and challenging, and it's also a bunch of small successes here and there. But hold on to these moments. These are the beautiful moments that you need to focus on. And lastly, don't you ever forget to be kind on yourself. So this was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when I upload. Also, you can go follow me on my social media, and I'm gonna see you next time. Peace out.